Hello everyone, my name is Cerebellum, this is Academy of the Ancients, and today we're going to be doing a replay review of Toomp's Puck Mid. Now, Puck Mid is something that's a little bit retro. I've actually watched this replay once already. I did a kind of failed take. I had the wrong settings. I used the settings for the for capturing the draft site I just did a video on, so yeah, it got messed up and I'm having to redo it. But the plus side, the silver lining if you will, is that now I know a lot about this replay and I know exactly what I want to comment on. And yeah, let's just get to it. This is gonna be a fairly, I'm gonna say this is definitely above or below average in MMR. I would be, yeah, there's some stuff here that indicates to me that this is a lot of not very seasoned players. Let's put it that way. The first thing I want to talk about is there's some bugs with the new replay system. Right. So if you see that I actually have to unpause it to change the camera mode and have it actually apply. So yeah, if anyone from Valve happens to be watching, you know. Probably not, but if you do see this, this is really annoying. If you could polish up this mode a little bit, that would be really great. I would love it a lot. The first thing that's gonna go wrong here is I'm gonna talk a little bit about the laning, because the laning here is messed up. It is seriously fucked, to be honest. They've got a Drow solo offlane. She's gonna be going up against a Vengeful Spirit and a Legion Commander. That's not good. That's not where you want to draw. That really isn't where you want to draw. Puck would be much better to have in the offlane. And yeah, then they have a jungling Enigma, and then two supports here in the safe lane, the Sand King and the Lich. So that's the opposite of good. That is two heroes that really can't use the farm as well as the others in the safe lane alone. We've got the Enigma jungle, that's the best part of this. Puck mid isn't horrible, but the Drow being offlane is so bad. Like, the Drow should probably either go mid or actually on the safe lane and then have someone like the Sand King mid. That could be viable, or even the Lich mid, and then just run Drow Sand King on the safe lane, have the Enigma jungle. And this is something that you see lower level players do a lot. They'll just kinda go in and just think, I'm gonna pick up the mid lane and I'm just gonna force it. And that's just what I'm gonna do. And they'll not recognize the difference between the offlane and the safe lane. They'll just expect to have like a core and a support in the two offlanes and the solo mid. And that's just what they want. And when someone picks up a jungler, everything often gets pretty fucked. To be honest, it often gets pretty messed up. So if you get into this kind of situation, if you can see that the lanes are messed up, please just communicate with the team. Say, okay, Puck has an escape. He's probably a lot better on the offlane than the Drow Ranger. Probably we can send the Drow Ranger mid or in the safe lane and be a lot better off overall. It'll just increase your chances of winning just by virtue of not having a messed up lane. As for the overall team composition, it's a little bit heavy on supports for once. I mean, we have the Sand King, the Lich and the Enigma. All those three usually fill up the support role. The Sand King can go core. The Enigma can go core, but then he doesn't jungle, then he probably takes up a lane. That wouldn't be so bad in this case, but that's not what's gonna happen. So yeah, they have kind of a little bit of a problem here. What they do have going for them is a bit of a good black hole combo. Like, if they can manage to get a good black hole off, throw in the Lich ulti, throw in the epicenter from the Sand King, and maybe some of the effects from Puck, and they should be able to have some good stuff going on there. So that's kind of how I see things going for the Radiant team here. Is they're gonna have a hard time in the laning stage, almost no matter what they go up against, and it's gonna be it's gonna all hinge around whether or not this Drow can get farm, so she can kind of get some physical damage out in the mid to late game, and whether or not they can land some big combos with their ultimates. On the other team, we have a surplus of mid heroes, I would say. We've got a Zeus and a Queen of Pain, both of whom really only go in the mid lane, I would say. The Zeus is gonna be ramming it up in the, or well, yeah, he's gonna be heading out to their off lane here with their Phantom Assassin. They're gonna go up against two supports here in the Lich and the Sand King. So that's a weird ass lane. That's one of the indications to me that this is not a very high level game. And on the top, we're gonna have the Legion Commander and the Vengeful Spirit. They actually only have one support over here, which is gonna be very odd for them. Everyone else, including the Vengeful Spirit, in fact, is gonna be building carry items. So it's not a good thing for the team at all. They are gonna end up winning this, despite having way too many carries. In fact, not having any proper support at all. I don't remember if they actually get wards, but if they don't, then you know there's something seriously wrong with your team if you're losing to a team that has 5 carries, doesn't get wards at all, and all that. Yeah, they've got 2 very good right clickers in PA and the Legion Commander. And we're going to see them make some obvious mistakes as well, which I'm going to address as well. With regard to Puck, just to give you a quick introduction to the hero, it's a very highly mobile hero that's very hard to kill if he gets up the right items, and a hero that's really good at initiating, pretty good at solo ganking, pretty good like just in the solo mid or solo offlane roles, really is where you want him. He's got Illusory Orb. This is just kind of a slow moving projectile he can send away. It's got a fairly big collision box, so it'll deal damage to people that are not super close to it. And then he can actually shift to it using the Ethereal Jaunt, which is an ability you pick up at the same time as you get the Illusory Orb. So this is kind of a chasing ability and escape ability all in one. He's got another really good ability here in Waning Rift. This is an AoE silence nuke around himself. That's pretty much it. Not a lot to say about that. It's really good. Then he's got Phase Shift, which allows him to self-banish essentially. It's an instant cast. It doesn't cost any mana, and basically this is the reason. One of the big reasons why you get Blink Dagger on Puck is that if you take damage while you have the Blink Dagger, it'll go on a 3-second cooldown. But if you have Phase Shift level 4, you can just shift yourself out, Phase Shift yourself out, banish yourself for 3 seconds. Blink Dagger will cool down, and then you can immediately blink away. We're gonna see him. He knows that this is something he should do, definitely, I think, because he does do it a few times, but he also messes it up a few times. So I'll be looking at that as well during the sweep pay. That's something with his item choice in general as well. But just to round things out with the Puck here, his ultimate, the Dream Coil. This is his way of initiation. Really, the Dream Coil and the Waning Rift was what makes him a good initiator. And really, what this does is an AoE effect where you can kind of do a tether down. You can kind of anchor your opponents to the ground. They get this sort of purplish line that kind of anchors them to the ground. If they go too far away from the point where they're anchored, it'll snap. They'll take extra magical damage and they'll get stunned. So basically, it's like you're forcing your opponents to stay within a certain area or take a punishment, which is fairly severe. You do not want to break the Dream Coil most of the time. Like some certain situations you can do it, but mostly it's much better to run around inside the area you're around to and try to. You can at least use your abilities. You can auto attack inside that area. So yeah, this is normally you just see Pucks kind of Illusory Orb in, throw out the Dream Coil or the Waning Rift or both, and then start a fight like that. And honestly, that works pretty well with this team. Like if he Dream Coils several targets, the Sand King can just go in with an Epicenter, the Lich can throw out his ultimate. Those work really well with it. So they have got some stuff going for it, but just the sheer carrier potential going against them, and the fact that they are so reliant on this Drow Ranger who's laning solo offlane is going to make things really awkward. His starting items here for the Puck mid are pretty decent. It's Tangos, 2 Clarities, Mantle of Intelligence, and Ironwood Branches. Now, these Clarities I am not a super fan of. They take a long time to give you mana. So probably I would say just cut those out of the build. Just don't get them. And then probably either get a salve or just save up for a quick bottle. We're not going to see him get a bottle here this game, and I think this is a mistake given what he goes for else. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But else this looks good. He doesn't have a fantastic right click. He gets 6 extra damage from these 3 branches and the Mantle of Intelligence. So, and he really needs that. He's only at 58 with those. If we take a look at the Queen of Pain, he's going to be laning up against. She's got 57 just with 4 branches. So we can see she's got a slightly better right click. Not the best right click either, but she does have like the Shadow Strike. Well, not the Shadow Strike, but yeah, she does have the Screen of Pain. She does have a few abilities that can help her farm up a little bit easier than Puck. The Puck's Illusory Orb is 150 mana. It's quite expensive to go for that for last hits. You can do it certainly if you can get like 2 or 3. It's probably worth it. But else it's you'll want it to save it up for escapes, maybe to go for runes as well. But let's see how this turns out. I'm gonna just, as per the usual, check out the Puck's perspective in player perspective mode. So we see here right away he starts attacking where he's not going for last hits, and this is bad for a number of reasons. Number 1 is it pushes the lane, and number 2 is it makes it harder for you to last hit because your attack will actually be on cooldown a lot, and that's not what you want. You want your attack to, you want to be able to just throw out that last attack. And yeah, this is already putting him pretty far behind. The Queen of Pain already getting several times the last hits he's got. Of course, it's and we see here he actually misses all of the last hits that goes under the tower. So he's only gotten one so far. He gets his second. And the Queen of Pain actually doing a pretty bad job of last hitting as well, but against any decent player he should be getting crushed. And he's losing the lane a little bit, he's taking much more damage than the Queen of Pain, and he's, you know, yeah, he's not doing well at all, to be honest. So that's the first thing, is definitely don't try to hit the creeps. Like, you aren't supposed to push the lane, you aren't supposed to auto attack the creeps. That's a bad thing to do. Now, okay. I want to quickly address the problem with his starting items here, because we can see it in effect now. If we take a look at the Queen of Pain, she's got 3 tangos and a healing salve left. She's got more last hits, they're pretty even now. They've both done a pretty bad job, honestly. But we can see she's got all the regens she needs now. But the Puck has a tango and the clarities. Now, if you use the clarities, they take 40 seconds. Like, that's a fairly big chunk of the game that's elapsed so far to do, and if you take any damage, like if the Queen of Pain just blinks forward and does a Scream of Pain, you lose that clarity. That's 50 gold out of the window, where you've probably only gotten a little bit out of it. So it's just not very handy, and a salve at this point would be much better, would allow you to stay in lane much easier than it is right now. And also the Queen of Pain got the double damage here. So that's, you know, if you know that the Queen of Pain, that's one thing I want to say. If you spot the Queen of Pain is ahead of you, you don't want to use an illusory orb to get there ahead of her, especially since she's got the blink, so she can just probably get there if she's ahead before you anyway. Then going for that rune is a complete waste of time. So if she's missing from mid, probably she's going for the rune, and you should just stay in last hit. That way, at least you are trading a rune for some last hits. But if you go for it and you miss it, she gets it instead, then all that happens is she got a rune, and you didn't get anything in trade. So that's really bad. Yeah. Oh, got the wrong perspective on here. Moment. So yeah. Now with the first 650 gold, as I mentioned before, I'd really love to see the Puck pick up a bottle here. We're not gonna see that. We're gonna see the Puck just go for, I think it's boots first, and I think that's not really needed. Puck's already really mobile, and I think the sustain you can get from the bottle would be a much bigger factor here.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, the Queen of Pain just, so some of the basic micro here, we see him dodging some attacks with the phase shift, and that's really good. I've got a bit of lag there for some reason, but yeah, so the Puck dodged a few attacks with the phase shift, which is really good. But honestly, the basic stuff, like, okay, he can dodge the attacks with the phase shift, and he's doing a good job of that. And you might think, oh, if I'm doing a good job of that, probably I'm doing a pretty good job as Puck. In this case, not so much. Not really. Just because you only had 9 last hits, the Queen of Pain is actually out last hitting you. And you know, I think he's actually under level as well. No, he's actually doing fine on levels. Let's see, he's the Queen of Pain. No, they're actually completely even. Yeah, almost even. So he's doing okay on levels, but his last hits are falling behind, and that's not really, you know, it's not the worst situation for Puck, but he definitely, it could have definitely easily been a lot better, and he's also low on mana now, so if you get gone on right now, you're not gonna have the mana to use your illusory orb to escape. It is actually a really dangerous situation, especially considering the Queen of Pain has enough mana and would be able to go for her ulti pretty soon. She's also got a regen rune, so this Queen of Pain, I'm fairly certain, like, if she's leading on last hit, she's gotten 2 runes, the Puck hasn't gotten anything. Yeah, this is pretty bad. Again, it all comes down to, oh yeah, I forgot. This is a huge mistake. A lot of new players, a lot of you guys love to pick up this item, love to get that magic wand, and it's pretty terrible, to be honest. I know all your guides tell you to get the ironwood branches in the start, and I know it's tempting to just go, oh, I get these ironwood branches, I can just build it into a magic wand. But that magic wand isn't going to be doing enough for you. It's just going to delay pretty critical items like your boots, like your bottle, like some heroes like to get a soul ring early on, or of Vladimir's, something that isn't too far away from the price range, where, you know, that extra 300 gold, especially if it delays your bottle, is pretty bad. And this thing we're gonna see this game, this magic wand is never gonna get filled up. Like, it could have easily been a magic stick, and all you're getting extra is just these 3 attributes, 3 plus to everything here. And that's honestly really bad. If you're thinking, oh, my inventory is filled up, it's much better to just sell an ironwood branch, or even just put an ironwood branch on the courier, than to build it into an item and lose gold that way. Because that's okay. The puck's gotten 12 last hits, so let's say 6 of those last hits has gone into building this magic wand. So you can see this thing needs to do something to be worth it, and it just isn't gonna be doing anything. It isn't gonna be doing anything more than a magic stick, not significantly, and it's just gonna delay shit a lot. It delay pretty critical items a lot, especially when you're getting this little farm. It's a pretty big deal if you try to go for stuff like this. Nice dodge again. Queen of Pain decides to just throw out her ultimate for no particular reason. Maybe just because she's got the regen. Actually, the regen's already been used, so a little bit odd that the Queen of Pain is... yeah. So the one, like the thing he's doing pretty good, I think, where he doesn't need to work on it, is just these phase shifts are working out pretty well. It's just that he's just not getting really enough out of the lane. It's pretty even now, to be honest. Except the Queen of Pain's gotten 10 denies and he's gotten 2. So the Queen of Pain is still definitely winning. It's just that the last hits are pretty even. Puck is pretty reliant on EXP, and we can see that the Queen of Pain should be pulling ahead now. Yeah, just those 10 denies just doing enough. And we can see now the puck runs out of regen, has to run back and heal up. The Queen of Pain can just hang out merrily in here. She's got all the regen in the world, and the bottle is just giving her, like, she's getting a bottle, she's getting every rune. She's a pretty good showcase of what the puck should be looking to do here, aside from her last hitting could be a lot better. But yeah, just, you see, she doesn't have a magic wand, she doesn't have the boots, but those are just doing nothing compared to what a bottle would be doing for the puck right now, especially if you get some boots.
Killing spree. Own it.
So it's 5-2, the other lane seeing a lot of action. The Drow actually managed to pick up the first blood up top, probably due to an overcommitment. We're not super interested in that, we're looking mainly at the puck. Puck decides to go for rotation down here now. And, you know, she did get level 6, so she can just throw out a Dream Coil. This is pretty good. Letting a creep follow you here and get vision of you all the way here is pretty bad, but I want to take just a moment to talk about these rotations from the mid. And they are not something that should happen every game. If you are one of those lower level players that have the assumption that what's supposed to happen is the mid hits a good level and then just rotates, gets a gang and goes back. That's how the game's supposed to go. That's not how the game's supposed to go. That's something you do if your other lanes are suffering. That's something you do to salvage another lane. You are sacrificing your mid, you're sacrificing farm time on the mid, which is some of the best farm time you can get. It's probably the best farm time for you. And you're sacrificing momentum for the mid. And it's a huge risk. If you don't get the kill, then, you know, the mid is just flat worse off. And the puck will just be losing the lane even harder to the Queen of Pain. If we take a look at net worth, the Queen of Pain is pretty far ahead of the puck. We take a look at the XP per minute, the Queen of Pain is a good bit ahead of the puck, and that's not where you want to be. The puck is doing, yeah, it ended up panning out more or less. Like the puck got a kill, or he got an assist. He did make a kill happen there, so it isn't the worst, but it's certainly not the best either. And you know, the lane needed it. They were getting killed pretty badly, and now they just get killed right away again. So it's not a good situation at all. And that's again these wonky lanes I talked about. It's just probably to blame here. Yeah, there we go. Zeus gets his ultimate. Drow Ranger already, like, she's alone against like 2 or 3 up there. She's gonna be hurting. She's gonna be hurting pretty much right away. Nice dodge there on the part of the puck. And these dodges are honestly the one thing that he doesn't need to work on. They are, again, I want to just feel like it's important to stress that the things he's actually doing quite okay. Certainly good enough for his level. And we're seeing just, you know, we're seeing right now that the team with the more supports, and the supports are generally higher impact early on than carries, are losing out heavily. Like, they are just losing a lot. So they're behind on kills, all sorts of bad stuff is happening. and I want to talk about something that probably happened quite accidentally here, but that I really like. The draw went mid. Draw went mid. She got a DD rune. She just goes mid. The puck leaves, tries to make a play happen. This is really good. You need farm on the draw. You do also need farm on the puck, but not as badly as you need farm on the draw. So giving the draw space here mid, a lot more safe farm than up top. Should have happened way earlier. I really like this play. It probably wasn't intentional, but if it was, good on you. Well done. Yeah, we see he just used his magic wand. I think that was the first time. It had like 4 charges. Totally not worth it. Totally bad. But yeah, definitely going for a play here. I think they're actually gonna get this Queen of Pain. It's definitely a good move. I like this as well.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So they shouldn't have lost the puck there. They definitely shouldn't have lost the puck. But committing the black hole there is actually alright. You might be thinking, oh, black hole is such a huge cooldown. Don't I have to get like 2 or 3 at least and get a big kill? Like some big things happening there. But honestly, killing off the Phantom Assassin there is super big. Not only did you get 900 gold for the Enigma, got 900 gold, which is really good. He's going to be able to finish up a mech. It looks like he's going for pretty much the only thing the Buckler builds into the mech. So I really like that. I think that's really good. Though I think maybe just going directly for Black King Bar would be really good for the Enigma as well here. They do have one of the best Enigma counters, I want to mention just real quick, because this Nether Swap from the Vengeful Spirit goes through BKB, it goes through Magical Immunity. So Enigma, well, even if he gets a BKB, he can still be swapped out of his Black Hole. If he gets swapped while he's casting the Black Hole, it will cancel the Black Hole. And that's a major bummer for them. That's another thing kind of working against them. If this Vengeful Spirit is cool-headed enough to actually execute that. Which I think is not a given in this game at all. So yeah, the puck died, but it did at least they had to blow a lot of ultimates and stuff, and they did get a kill on the PA. The PA really critical to get the kill. Bro gets caught out of position. These guys are super happy about just running around alone, even though they're behind, and even though they are really hard carry. That's behind like to throw. Can't really hope to get a solo kill. So that's just a huge error. The Lich gets caught out as well. Yeah, these towers not offering as much protection as perhaps they think they do. That's another thing that newer players kind of struggle with, is that they kind of overestimate. They have a hard time sensing when opponents can just dive the tower. And it is hard. So, Vengeful Spirit just kind of walking around alone in here. Again, this kind of weird movements, just not panning out. Queen of Pain tries for a fail gang. Zeus comes in, tries for the same thing. They just get 3 kills and a buyback from Zeus to kill the Draw Ranger. This was not worth it for the Zeus. The Draw Ranger is already kept down plenty. Yet buying back to use your ultimate to get a kill here is so expensive. That is super expensive. I would not think that's worth it at all. So yeah. Just wanted to mention that real quick. If you did, if they had some sort of instant healing, if the Enigma had been there with the mech and just triggered it, and they didn't get the kill, it's so bad for them. It's a little bit ridiculous. The Lich just got killed here in the middle. I don't know what the hell he was doing there, but he just got killed. Super bad. Super bad. Yeah. So the puck is slowly creeping up to the Blink Dagger, even though she's got very, very, very mediocre last hits at this point. Or actually, they're not so bad. 40 minutes, 33 last hits. No, it's not. It's not that bad. Like she's actually, it's not very good either. But she's got some farm. She's got some, like, the big thing is she's got 3 kills, 1 death, and 3 assists. So that's really good, obviously. And yeah, she's gonna be able to make a lot of stuff happen here. And they get good Dream Coil there. Oh, almost had the kill there on the. They get the kill on the Queen of Pain because she gets greedy. And the puck tries for the. Puck kinda. Okay, yeah.
Dire's bottom tower is
I don't really know what that was about, but the puck just tried for some stuff there. Could have maybe, if she was a little bit more daring, had gotten the Vengeful Spirit there, but that's, you know, an overdive. The puck generally is has a lot less of a tendency to overdive or to just run around alone. in places where she shouldn't be, as the rest of the team here. So
Radiant's
that's a good
bottom
thing,
tower
but
is under
the Drow
attack.
gets caught out of hand. Here's just a... I mean, what the hell is this? I'm sorry, but this Zeus just went... He just went, like, I think he was just running around here, and I don't know what he thinks he's gonna do alone in here. There's no one visible on the map, except I think they might actually have seen them in mid, and he just runs into 3 heroes and dies instantly, because he's got 40 strength, and that's it. That is so incredibly bad. I just had to highlight that. That is one of those moves that I just cannot see any kind of... yeah. Now there's a Legion commander just running around in here. Super strange. Oh, but there's a Sand King up here.
Radiant's bottom tower has been denied.
Nope. Okay. So there's a little bit of fighting here. Enigma's gonna get caught out. PA catching up to the... okay, just decides to turn around. Go. And they should not have gone in again there. So let's take a look at what we have here. Let's just follow this engagement. And let's put it down to 1x. So they kind of have a little skirmish over here. The Enigma comes back in. Gets swapped by the Vengeful. The PA chases the Puck, however. Puck's pretty hard target to pin down, especially once she has Blink. So probably wait. Yeah, then she goes back in here. The Enigma doesn't have Black Hole, and that's really what loses in this fight. And you shouldn't go in here. Just let the Enigma die. The Enigma is just the support. If they just get a support for all their movement down here, and you have someone farming, that's good. That's a good thing to have happen. But that's not what happens. They just lose 2 instead.
A worthy opponent.
So again, not so clearly, not as clearly as the Zeus we saw just before. That the Puck was out of position there, but the Puck was out of position. Enigma without the Black Hole is not the scariest opponent at this point in the game. Early on, the Islandons does do a lot of damage, but at this point, not so much. Alright, here is where I wanna... yeah, if we take a look at what the Puck's doing here, I'm gonna... what? Yeah, I'm gonna see... go, and she gets swapped. Good swap there from the Vengeful, and see, the Puck's gonna live through this barrage by phase shifting. Blink Dagger gets off cooldown, and you can blink out. But you don't. So, if you just queued up a blink out there, I think you could easily just shift, hold shift, use your hotkey for the blink, and just press in the direction somewhere in the direction your hero is facing, and you would get out of that easy. And that could have lived there. Or the Zeus would have ultied, so maybe not. But I mean, it would have been. You could have attempted at least. The enemy is going to overdive here and actually do 3 for another 2 kills. So that's they just keep doing this. They just keep overcommitting and overestimating their own abilities so much, and that's the only thing that's keeping the Radiant in the game right now. Is them just refusing to respect them even a little bit, and just constantly getting caught out alone. This PA is gonna get a lot of farm, but she's also just gonna try to Rambo too much. They're gonna get the that's the PA, just as I mentioned here. She's just gonna get caught out against 4. Was that actually 5? 4 or 5 so easily all the freaking time.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Decent Black Hole there, but it gets interrupted. Yeah, so the Drow Ranger's fighting way too much. That's one thing. If you're playing a carry, you're in this position, you have no farm, nothing, just a power threats and a claymore. Go farm. Just say, okay, I cannot participate in team fights. Go get these stacks down here. I think there's actually stacks. I don't know, but it looks like they might be stacked.
Is under attack.
Maybe it's just regular spawns. Probably it's just regular spawns actually. But just go farm them. The Puck's gonna be building into a Linken's, and I don't like this at all. I think this Puck should definitely go for a sheep stick instead. Just a hex, because they kinda at this point it's already clear. If you look at the kill, death, assist, big problem is the PA 10 and 3. That's the boogeyman here. Boogeyman is this PA. You need a way to reliably kill this PA, and a Lincoln Sphere ain't it. Lincoln Sphere isn't gonna help you kill anything. And you have such a glass cannon lineup, you cannot be going for a Lincoln Sphere here. So I think definitely go for a sheepstick. It would be much more useful.
Stay near.
With the Dream Coil, that's it's pretty bad. That's such a useful ability. We're starting to see some Shadow Blades coming out. Lower level players love Shadow Blade, and it works in lower level games. It really does. Again. Yeah. That's. I just wanna, because this is honestly one of the big mistakes here from the puck. Bit of a weird engagement here. Kills the Vengeful. Go. Oh, did it early. Should have waited a little bit. The Blink Dagger didn't get off cooldown. And now you're just gonna get hit. Oh, so close to getting off cooldown. But now you're just dead. Could have phase shifted actually. If you had phase shifted there, you could have gotten out. Maybe. But you need to just wait. If you would waited 2 seconds there, the Blink Dagger, like that's the thing, even if you take damage, the Blink Dagger only gets on a 3-second cooldown. So you just need to make sure your cooldown isn't larger than your phase shift. Aye. That's larger than your phase shift duration, because then you can blink out afterwards. And he's losing a lot of his survivability by not using this interaction with the Blink Dagger well enough.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, we see there the power of the Shadow Blade in low level games. They're just not capable of playing against it at all. Like the puck actually buys wards. I really like this. Just when no one else on your team is getting wards and these guys aren't, then you know, get wards. There isn't anything else for it. Oh, actually, someone did get a ward up here. I don't know if that was a puck actually, but yeah, getting wards if no one else is, no matter what character you're playing, is always a good thing. You can just try to ask your supports to do it, but if they refuse or something, it'll help your chances just to get the wards. They aren't that expensive, and the vision is just super important. So
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
There are some things.
they get a few good pickups there.
You're impertinent.
The
Radiant's
Vengeful
top
feels
tower
like
has
throwing her
fallen.
life away. She's gonna go in on the back of this.
Here I am. That one admired my wings, but could not be trusted.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower
Coming in
is
the
under
black hole
attack.
there for the Legion Commander may be a little bit much, but he did get a kill out of it, so it's not the worst.
Radiant's bottom tower
Again, like
is under attack.
they just need kills, and especially on the Legion Commander
Radiant's
and
bottom
the
tower
PA.
is
Those are
under
the big
attack.
boogeymen at the moment. Here, just sell the wand, get the ultimate orb. If you're gonna go for this Lincoln Sphere, just the ultimate orb is gonna give you a lot more than the wand. Yeah, he's gotten maybe 20 charges the whole game off of this thing.
Gather round, silence.
Blown out.
Yeah.
Something in your eyes.
Behold.
See, that's what I'm talking about. The PA just went in again there with like a 7th of her life. She just wants to fight and fight constantly. And it's really bad. We're gonna see a lot of strange stuff this game.
Here I am.
Yeah. So let's just speed things up a little bit. Not a lot happening right now. Oh, there's one thing I want to mention here. Oh, that's the Legion Commander's doing the Ancients here. I thought that was the Zeus actually. At one point Zeus is gonna try to do these Ancients, and that's not something Zeus can do. Maybe I just missed. Maybe I just looked at it wrong, or misinterpreted, or got the colors mixed up. I mean, the first time I watched the replay, but I thought the Zeus was doing the Ancients, and it wasn't. It was the Legion Commander, and that makes a lot more sense because she can actually do the Ancients, whereas Zeus not so much. Not so much.
Regeneration.
going in and doing someone else, a jungle camp someone else is doing is
Dyer's
really,
bottom tower is
really
under
rude, honestly. I
Radiant's
wouldn't recommend
top
doing it
tower
just because
is
you don't
under
want your
attack.
teammates to be pissed off at you. It's generally a really bad thing to do. Go. Good fight. Good fight for them. Great fight for them, in fact. Again, the silver lining for the opponents is this Drow just keeps dying. Remember when we looked at her inventory last? Yeah, it looks a lot like this, right? Yeah, she's getting nothing. Nothing. She's got 36 last hits now. She's the second lowest net worth in the game. She's even got really low level. She's 3 levels below the Zeus and the Queen of Pain. Ah, this is really bad. Really, 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 really bad. Like it is, it is pretty seriously bad. So yeah, the Pug's doing fine stat-wise, and the PA is doing really good kill def wise. But the whole game hinges upon this Drow, because if these guys wisen up and get BKBs, all of the rest of your damage, all of it, is just gone. Like all you have is a mediocre right click from the puck, and then maybe if you can live through the BKB duration, which is a bit of a stretch when you've got like a PA that's got Desolator. She's working into a Sanjin Yasha, it looks like, and it's just looking like pain coming from this girl here. This is a 450% critical damage. Already this is like 800 damage. It's actually more than 800 damage, plus 7 armor reduction. And if she gets a right click off on a crit off on someone, because she's got like a that's, you know, Puck can just about tank one crit, and then a few normal clicks, and Puck's down for the count. So yeah, those BKBs, like even if it's a 4 second, she's gonna be able to tear someone apart in 4 seconds. So yeah, I'm not liking their chances at all here. And of course I know they're gonna lose, so that's another reason why I don't like their chances. But yeah, Zeus is another reason why I don't like the chances. Zeus is doing a good job itemizing, mostly because the way you should itemize Zeus kind of appeals a lot to lowbies, honestly, to newer players, and that is just going for Academy's Refresher and just throwing out 2 ridiculous ultimates. So we see he does 640 magical damage already with his ultimate. When you get the Refresher, obviously that's just gonna double it. He can just throw out 2 at once, and he's just gonna save up for that. That's gonna be around 1300 magical damage, and that's absurd. Like that is a lot. Like that is a dead puck. Like if the puck doesn't manage to dodge, okay, it's not a dead puck, but it's actually reasonably. It's gonna take most of puck's life. if the puck's down to 200 life or something after that, well, 500 life, maybe a little bit more, yeah, because there is 25% magical resistance. So a little bit of math there, but yeah. And the puck's got his Lincoln Sphere up, and we're gonna see exactly what this is gonna do for him. And it's actually gonna do a little bit, just because the PA insists on fighting puck alone, which means a lot of the PA's abilities, the stifling dagger and stuff, is gonna be blocked. That's actually reasonably big at this point. Now the supports are just gonna be fighting in here alone. Actually gonna get a kill on the Queen of Pain, and that's, you know, yeah, not the worst. But the Sand King, unfortunately, isn't itemizing quite right. I like the arcane boost. This wand again, bad. Blade Mail is pretty bad as well. He should just be building it for Blink. Would make it a lot easier for him to do the epicenter, and that's really what they need. Enigma, I like his item build a lot. He's going into a BKB now, and he's got Blink, he's got Net. This is good stuff all around. The Vlads, not super sure I like the Vlads. They're gonna be able to kill this Legion Commander. Good kill. Legion Commander just running around alone again. Super bad movements from a lot of players this game. Drow being way too aggressive here, she's gonna pay for it. Zeus just kind of doing a huge head. There's a huge black hole. Really good. Puck gonna bite the dust. They didn't get the PA, that's kind of the thing. They got the black hole, didn't get the PA. This stuff happens. See, the PA is the boogeyman. Don't kill the boogeyman, boogeyman kills you. And splat, 1100 crit. Ow. Ow, 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 ow. And it's not an accident that she's up at 1800. Or 18 kills now. she's got a lot of last hits. She's been playing, honestly, aside from overdiving a lot, which is honestly a big ass mistake. She's been itemizing reasonably correctly. She's actually gotten a decent amount of last hits. The only one who's ahead is the Enigma, who can jungle super efficiently. And who's also playing as well. Yeah, she's going for some good stuff here. Or the 10-second BKB being wasted there by the Enigma. And now we see the opponent, or Puck's team, just going in one by one. And it's just getting them killed. There's not a lot they can do then. So the Lincoln Sphere is just blocking reasonably small stuff. It isn't going to be doing super much, and all it's doing at the end of the day, all this Lincoln Sphere is doing is keeping the puck alive. Keeping the puck alive at this point is just not good enough. If the best way to keep the puck alive is to kill the PA, the best way to kill the PA is to buy a sheepstick, because the sheepstick disables the blur. And the blur is a 50% dodge on all physical damage. You don't have super much physical damage, but you don't have. I probably don't have enough nuke to actually kill her off. Like, she does have 1800 HP. It's gonna be a little bit tough to get off. Like, if you can get the epicenter to hit, the epicenter is gonna do a lot. But that's only if the hits. It's got 10 pulses. It's actually 1100 damage if you can get a full epicenter off. Minus about 300 damage. So that's about 900 of it. If they can get a lot of bounces with the ledge, yeah, it's possible. Like, it's not completely out there to think that maybe you could make it happen just with magical damage, and they are gonna make it happen actually a lot. But honestly, PA is working on a butterfly. Butterfly has 35% evasion. It stacks with blur. So it doesn't stack linearly, it isn't 85% evasion, but it is like up in the 60s. 60% evasion is insane, considering she only has 26 armor. This PA is just gonna be so hard to kill. And she just dies there, so she's trying really hard to get killed. She's just jumping in alone, and she does get killed. So well done. She's trying her hardest to throw this game, trying her hardest to let the Radiant keep a chance of winning this. If they just went together, they would have no chance. Like, there's just too much stuff. There's the Zeus ulti, there's Queen of Pain, there's magical damage, there's the aura from Vengeful making the PA do even more damage. And the Minus armor, and the Legion Commander can just lock down someone. The Legion Commander just kind of Shadow Blades in, gets the Enigma in a duel, then, you know, that's a lost fight almost, right there. Instead, the PA keeps dying. Because the PA is dead, they're free to they're not nearly as scared of the rest of the team. The rest of the team isn't nearly as big of a problem. They can just engage those. So the PA is making some severe misplays, which is gonna cost not costing the game, but it's gonna keep the Radiant more in the game than this should have been at this point by a long stretch. The Dro's gotten a Shadow Blade now. 40 minutes Shadow Blade, ladies and gentlemen. That is she's having a bad game. Like, a seriously bad game. She's died something like 12 times already. Illusion. She has 16 deaths. Damn, that is wow, that is some record levels of bad right there. PA just gonna try and throw her life away again. And I think this is gonna be successful, yeah. The Blink Dagger actually doing a little bit of work there. The puck could have died to the Stifling Dagger a few times, but, you know, not worth it still. Like, a Sheepstick would have had the same result. If you could just sheep her up, she would just have died faster, because you were relying a lot on right-click damage there, and it would have disabled all of that dodge. Plain and simple, like that 66% evasion or something would just be gone. And of course, she can't throw out her abilities if she's a sheep. Pretty simple. And now the Puck's next item. Okay, we've got a bit of a fight here. And they're just, you know, skirmishing it up. The Drow dies again. Drow. Man, I'm feeling so bad on her behalf. She's gonna have it. Like, I wouldn't blame her if she just quit the game after this, just because this has got to suck a lot. This is honestly just a hard game to be drawing as well, like with the lane she got and the opposing heroes, it's just so hard. You know, instead of pushing the racks, we can see the opponent's heroes are just milling around out here. And the Puck's building into an Ethereal Blade. And I don't know what the reasoning here is, but it's actually a pretty decent item. for this situation, I think. Considering that the PA seems to be not interested in getting a BKB.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Sheepstick would still be better, but you know,
Dire's top tower is
getting
under
the
attack.
Ethereal Blade
Dire's
is
top
certainly
tower
not
has
the
fallen.
worst choice the Puck could make
Radiant's
here.
middle tower
Let's
is
just
under attack.
speed this thing up. So why the reason why I like the Ethereal Blade isn't because of the nuke damage from it, but it's because of the vulnerability to magic it does. So it's kind of like, it's actually pretty clever. It's almost like they want to deal with the PA by making her more vulnerable to magical damage rather than disabling her formidable physical defenses. So instead of going for the sheep, which would be the normal answer, they just go for making her very vulnerable to magical damage and relying on the Enigma, the Lich, and the Sand King, and the Puck to deal all the magical damage needed to bring her down. Like if we see, alright, I'm locked in player perspective, so I can't actually see the shop, but I believe it's a significant amount of magical vulnerability that you get if you have Ethereal Blade used on you. So they could just nuke her down probably, but again a
Dire's
BKB
top
would
tower
solve
is under
all of those
attack.
problems, but the PA just
Dire's
doesn't
top
really want to
tower
get a
is under
BKB.
attack.
So that kind of sucks. Like, that's not good. The opposite of good.
No.
That's another thing, another item newbies love to get. Dagon. This is a very strangely itemized Queen of Pain, honestly. The Orchid isn't bad. The Orchid is okay. But I think, you know, a Sheepstick would be far better on Academics actually. Get that Academic Scream up and running. Get the cooldown of the Scream, the Sonic Wave. Sorry. The Sonic Wave down to 40 seconds, make it a lot more usable. Also, tank up the Queen of Pain quite a lot. And certainly if you want to go nuker, it's a lot better than the Dagon. It gives you better stats than the Dagon. And it also, like, the Scream is just, it's an AoE nuke. Like, it's an AoE nuke with 725 damage. This Dagon is 500 damage. So if you can get the 725 damage with the Academics, why on earth would you go into the Dagon? Why would you? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So I like the BKB. The Orchid is okay. I would prefer a Sheepstick and a BKB. Sheepstick and Aghanim's over these two, honestly. And a Puck is getting close to the Ghost Scepter. All of these kills they keep getting are just getting them so much gold. So much more gold than they should have had anyway. So the PA just has a ton of kills, but also has a lot of deaths. So yeah. Not a lot the Puck can do to win it in this case. Like, they just need better coordination as a team. It's kind of, they're playing a very fragile lineup, which is this almost combo composition where they just need the Enigma to initiate for them really well. Or the Sand King. The Sand King, if he got Blink, could actually initiate really well. He's gotten a harder to ask instead. This was a pretty big mistake from the Puck here. I'm not gonna go back to it, but the Puck just phase shifted out during the black hole. There wasn't anything there to dodge during the black hole, so the Puck should have just thrown out some spells, thrown out the Waning Rift, and they could have probably killed the PA. The PA is really low, so they'd killed the PA there. I think, yeah, I think it would have gone. They could have maybe just won that fight, but the Puck instead just kind of panicked, kind of phase shifted out, and let the phase shift run its course. You can cancel the phase shift. So yeah, pretty big mistake there. Probably wouldn't have won the game. Probably the game is still lost. One quick itemization mistake I want to mention is that the Sand King went for a harder to ask. If you're playing support, this is almost never the right item to go for, honestly. It's very, very few supports that can make enough use of a harder to ask to really make it worth it. This is something you go on core heroes that need to have sustain in team fights. As a Sand King, if you go in and you get your Epicenter and your Burrow Strike off, that's your contribution to the team fight. You do not need to be alive after that. It might suck that you have to die, but your team would have much better chances of winning if you went for a utility item. Again, Sheepstick would be fine. Certainly he should have picked up a Blink Dagger with this amount of farm. Like a Blink Dagger instead of this Blade Mail, which is about the same money, would have been a ton more useful. Just for the Burrow Strike, not even for the Epicenter, just for the instant Burrow Strike stun would have been huge. Huge. I cannot stress how big that would be. Instead, you know, he's gone for these items which honestly not doing anything for his team. Honestly, nothing. Like, he might as well not have these two. It's almost that case, like, cause the PA and the Zeus are gonna have no problem bursting through this Heart of Tarrasque. No problem at all. Like, this PA is doing ridiculous damage right now. She's got a 400 damage right click. That's even without the Vengeful Aura, or Vengeance Aura, which is maxed now at pause. That would give her another third damage. But let's just say she hits you. Base damage is 400. Base damage is 400. 450% crit on top of that. That is more than 1600 physical damage in one attack. That she can. Okay, probabilistically, she won't get the next attack, probably. But if she did like get 2 crits in a row, you're dead. Like, that's she's giving more damage in one right click with a crit than you are getting from the entire Heart of Tarrasque. The Heart of Tarrasque is not letting you tank another right click, another crit. So that's the use he's getting out of that. It's not much at all. And the Pug's choosing to carry the wand here, the magic wand, over the ethereal or the eagle song, the 30 or the 25 agility item, and that is not worth it at all. The Vengeful is also built like a carry build. These are at least some decent carry items, but she shouldn't be building for carry here. She should be support.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And yeah, this game should have ended a long time ago, but they're doing a really bad job at actually pushing the lane. You see, no one's attacking the tower. All of this damage, no one attacking the tower. They're just interested in getting kills. Oh, there goes the leading commander. There's the epicenter, and the Phantom Assassin actually dies. And I was pretty amazed first time I saw this, that she actually died with this amount of farm. I could, like, what? So let's just see this at normal speed. So got some. They just dive in. Legion Commander just goes Rambo mode. They go in. Sand King gets off a big stun. Legion Commander bites the dust. Sand King manages to channel the entire epicenter, and the epicenter just finishes off the Phantom Assassin. So the epicenter, as we just discussed, she ate a whole epicenter, just right down the gullet. It's pretty big. Like, it's a 10 pulses of 110 damage. So that's 1100 damage. The PA, we can't see what life she was on. Let's just get back to it. PA was at 2200 life. She had 1600 points of life here, with a little bit of nuke damage from the puck and from the Enigma possibly. Then sure, like it's gonna be doing a lot of damage. The puck actually only has the illusory orb, so that's only 300 or 400, 280 damage. But still, that's just 25%. She can't dodge this, so that's kind of the hole in PA's build. A pretty big hole. Like, that's, you know, it's a pretty obvious case of you need to get some sort of magic immunity. Just get the Black King bar, and this PA is immortal. Like, she is so hard to kill suddenly. She could also just get Roshan. Just go to Roshan, kill Roshan, get an Aegis. They can't use their ultimates to kill you twice in a row. Like that, there's cooldowns and shit. But now at this point, everyone on the enemy team is so fat that it doesn't super much matter. Like, even this Vengeful is somewhat of a threat with a 250 damage right click at almost 2 attacks per second. So, but no one has Invis detection. The Sand King is having the time of his life. Zeus just getting caught out alone here. But the Drow is the only one in the entire game without farm, so she's just taking forever to kill this Zeus. That she was just sort of, you know, when the Zeus is just tanking you, you know you're having a bad game. And this Drow is having the mother of all bad games. She's died 20 times. Man, that's a bad game. Bad game, yo. And she's got 90 last hits. Let's just check how many last hits is that. That is not many last hits at all. When the Sand King has more last hits than you, you've not been farming very efficiently. Sand King usually should only go, like, he should go get his Blink Dagger and then just fight, in my opinion. Most games. Yeah, and the Ethereal Blade is up now. It's gonna help. It's not gonna help as much as a sheep, I think, but it's gonna help. So, yeah. And I mean, going up to 18 armor is useful and all. It does give... Okay, let's just do a quick damage calculation. So it's 2 times your primary attribute plus 75. So 75 plus 2 times 125. So it's a 325 damage nuke. It also increases the damage the target will take from magic by 40%. And that's the big one here. That's the part we care about, because that will mean it becomes the epicenter becomes like a 1500 damage nuke. The Lich Ult does like 100 more damage per bounce. That's not amazing, honestly. The Lich here has also got a mechanism. I'm pretty certain the Enigma also has a mechanism. So pretty big mistake there, but you know, the Lich also having some of the worst games. He's got... How do you only have... This is a 50-minute game, how do you only have 10 last hits? Being a support doesn't mean you should never get farm. You should just not take farm from your cores. So another thing that takes a little while for newer players to understand is that the rules aren't that hard. Like, you can't just say support shouldn't get farm. No, support should get farm, but not at the cost of core farm normally. In some cases, you should actually prioritize support farm. There we go. Ethereal Blade doing some work there. Double Zeus ultimate. At this point, not that scary. Like, everyone's tanked up so much. That's the one. Okay, the good part about getting the Sand King that hard is you can at least tank the Zeus ultis fairly easily. But now, you know, PA is in big baddie mode. I don't know why she let the Enigma live there, but she did. Bit of a misplay there from Puck. Could have just blinked away. Could have blinked up here to this area and been safe, but she just kind of fled in a straight line, didn't use her abilities very well. So yeah, again, like, you can just, you know, wait out the blink cooldown, and it's honestly super hard if you just break line of sight with your blink out, and you're doing really well. Like, it's just, yeah, I don't really know what they're
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Creeps push in a tower. La la la. We are rapidly approaching the end of the game, but as I just mentioned, the Zeus ulti at this point isn't super big because everyone's tanked up. Well, guess what? So is every nuke over here. This just the Ethereal Blade is kind of keeping them in the game there, because on one target at least they can get 40% more damage. But when the Legion Commander is this farmed, this is a really weird build, honestly. But the Legion Commander's farmed. That's the takeaway here. He's also got 160. Wow, that's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. BKB here would make it seriously scary. See a trend here? Get BKBs, guys. They're good. And yeah, she's going for oh, this is gonna be a Abyssal Blade. It's gonna be an Abyssal Blade, but it's yeah. Zeus is building into God knows what. Probably it's probably a sheep stick. It should probably be a sheep stick, but it's probably gonna be a Sheevis, maybe. I don't know. He's probably not gonna get it. He's yeah, he's been dying a lot lately. So Dagon keeps getting levels here. That's the only thing that's happening for the Queen of Pain. But you know, these two are kind of the scary ones. And okay, actually, the Vengeful is also getting really good amounts of farm for a support, getting a lot of items. So the nukes, they can kind of burst down one. The PA actually is for nukes for magical damage. She's actually the most squishy target aside from the Queen of Pain. The Queen of Pain is not nearly as important as the PA at this point. So even a heart or Satanic would be a really good option for this this PA, just because she's doing so much damage. Just a Satanic, give her the raw HP to survive a bit longer, and just when you just get run, good crit in, and you take a bunch of life from that, then you know they just can't kill you. And yeah, it's yeah. Things are not looking good. It is I would say it's the beginning of the end, but it's been the beginning of the end for a while now, honestly.
Radiant's middle tower.
Finally, they're pushing Rex.
Has fallen.
These Rex should have been pushed way earlier. Yeah. Just the same stuff going on. Puck failing a blink out there again. I don't know if it's a cooldown, but yeah, we've seen he's a bit sloppy on these.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower. Radiant's ancient
Thinking
is
wants a
under
rematch.
attack.
How it's possible?
Radiant's ancient is up. Radiant structures
Yeah.
are fortified.
If he thinks this is an upset,
Radiant's
it's not.
ancient
It
is
really
under
isn't.
attack. Dire victory.
So, let's just get. There we go. Alright, let's summarize. Puck. Skip the clarities in your starting items. Didn't go into a skill build. I think it was pretty good. Getting Illusion up first makes a lot of sense. Getting Phase Shift second makes a lot of sense. Maybe get Phase Shift first and Illusion up second. But yeah, itemization choices were a bit weird. With Lincoln Sphere, think hard about whether or not there's something you really need to block, and whether or not keeping yourself alive is gonna be enough, or if you just need the utility that comes with like a sheep stick. Some cases maybe think of an orchid, orchid malevolence. What else was there? Work on your jaunts. Work on your phase shift into Blink Dagger. That's one of the reasons why Blink Dagger is so powerful on Puck. You really need to get a little bit better at actually executing that reliably. And yeah, when you see these lanes getting so messed up in the start, just take the initiative, communicate with your team, just say we're gonna lose this if we lane like this, and just yeah, get the get a better plan on the table. Yeah, I think those are the made points. Here, as usual, the directions for sending in replays to me are gonna be in the description of this video. For this one, I just looked in the Analyze My Dota 2 subreddit and found a replay there I wanted to do. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, consider liking and subscribing. My name has been Cerebellum. This has been Academy of the Ancients, and thank you for watching.